you change any of those details, it might be a different...
Might start a whole new stream.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Looking forward to this now.
Music's bloody... Freshy's messaging me on the bloody starting line. Stop it! Get off your bloody phone!
Drive the car.
He really wants his first win. In ACC, it'll be his first win. So
Yeah, okay.
I've
All
been
right.
giving him a bit of a rev up. So
Nice. Yeah. You got to earn it.
yeah. All right, green light. Go, go, go.
Over the start finish line?
Over the start finish line. Under
All
the
right.
wings.
Sweet. Okay, so Am1. And say a small prayer and click. All right, so welcome back, folks. We're back in Holland, amongst the dunes.
Or
Sorry.
as music says, the kitty litters.
And it's thick stuff, isn't it? Like, it'll get in your radiators as well as slow you down.
All right, I'm going to sign back out, mate.
All right, dude.
Quit.
Right, sweet. We are, in fact, back in. So welcome back, folks. The boys are on their formation lap. Let's get rid of the map. And let's pick up... So Inter in the Ferrari is on the pole, and we're just waiting for Paulie to rejoin the server. And we're on for a great race tonight. 13 in the room. So we have lost a few. We have lost a couple, unfortunately. But never mind. We're going to keep going. So Inter on the pole. Music in the Aston. He's got some pace. And Freshy in the black McLaren, also with some pace. So the front three qualified less than a tenth of a second. They were doing mid-36s, so got some pace. Then we've got the No Chance boys, Sparky and Shaky, in those very hard-to-miss Mercedes. Yep. And then we've got Incy in the Lexus. So, good quality from Incy. And then Andy in the Lambo, Bear in the Honda, Vert in the McLaren, Mike in the Aston, Max in the Audi, Exo in the GTR, and TB in the Ferrari, picking up the grid. So we're going to go on board with Freshy, and we're about to get racing. So it's going to be a little over an hour when Inter commits to the gas here at the start-finish line. And this all looks pretty clean, nice and orderly, and Inter goes. So we're underway. Am1 here at Zandvoort. Who's going to be gutsy on lap one? So pressures will definitely not be up to the optimum window yet, so they'll just need to be a little bit patient. And we're getting a notification that Paulie's internet is gonna let us down. So enjoy the show, Paulie. We love you, dude. Wish you were here. Do a reboot, dude, and see if you can get back in. Meanwhile, so Sparky's got some pace. He's right on the back of Freshy. So Freshy's aiming for the win, and he's got some early pressure. Oh, Sparky's really on the hurry up. And this is good racing from these boys, nice and early on. All for the lead. Music around the outside, so Inter has run wide in Sector 2. And this is Music's chance to get away. So Ferrari P2, here comes the McLaren. This is Gutsy. Inter wide again, so Inter's got some problems. And Freshy's trying to go around the outside, and that means Sparky's going to be right there, but he's now going to be on the outside. Incy's going to be licking his lips. Oh, that is gutsy. Incy's definitely going to inherit that spot. And if he gets a run on the McLaren, this could be Incy up to an early P3. This is going to be close. So Sparky pits. Incy, no, thinks better of it. Good move, mate. So Bear also pits on lap 1, which of course is technically lap 2. We do the full formation lap. Bit of a wobble from Freshy on the exit. And they coming into sector 2. Drive through for Sparky, so busted. That obviously must have been on the way into pit lane, so right about now he'll be doing his best not to swear his head off. Let's check out what TB's doing. Camera catch up. So the BHR has already seen some action, front and left side. So he'll be playing the long game. EXO still very much in contact with Max. And let's check out Vert. And then we're going to whip on ahead to Shaky, who is... Oh, look at this. Incy on Freshy. Lap 2. And Incy's through. Up to P3. So I think it's pretty obvious that some of these boys... Oh, and Freshy goes into the pits. So I was going to say it was looking like Freshy was actually carrying an extra bit of fuel, and he might still be doing that. Just coming in to take care of his first stop and hopefully get him out on some clean air. But the gaps are already in place. Inter is now 2 and a bit back of Music. Incy's the same. Shaky's the same. And Andy. And then Mike. Freshy's coming out of the pits, excuse me. And these boys have already made it through, so... And Paulie's back. And TB's got a bit of a wobble in Sector 1, and he's pushing on. So Sparky's just served his drive-through. Sparky stopped on lap 2, Paulie, and unfortunately busted into the pit lane. So he's already served his drive-through. Music leads 2.4, so he's edging it out. Oh, and TB's wide. So TB possibly with not quite enough seat time this week to have a really good grip on the Ferrari. Oh, and again he's having a hard time. So Music into turn 1. And we know how smooth he looked in quali, so it's looking good. And already the gaps have really started to stretch a little bit. That didn't take long, but given how hard it is to trail around here. Paulie, welcome back.
I had my microphone on mute. I've been talking since I got back into the chat.
I've never done that, mate. Never.
Dear.
So it was. There was plenty of action at the start, dude. Sparky was all over Freshy. Inter led and then had an off through Sector 2, so Music got past, and Inty up to P3 after well done. Yeah, the racing the first 2 laps was incredible.
Looks like Freshy, Little Bear and Sparky have all done their first pits, and EXO has joined them doing their first pit stops, getting them out of the way nice and early.
Yep. Let's check in with Shaky. He's 1.5 back of Incy in the Lexus. And then Andy and Mike not too far back. So, there you go. They'll be looking at the clock already and there's only 6 minutes gone. Time to take a breath and just find a rhythm around here and enjoy your driving.
Looks like Freshie got past TB.
Yep, TB's had a couple of tangles.
Whoa! He's just gone off again, across the spoon chicane, but I don't know the official name of it. But yeah, you just cut across the beach just there.
Yep, so TB's, that Ferrari's a handful tonight.
It's definitely seen better days, look at that.
Yeah, he needs to do a bit of work with River on that Ferrari setup. So the gaps are stretching. Let's go back to Mike, who is 1 second back of Andy in the Lambo. So I think there are some very different strategies already in place, Paulie. I'd say Inter's probably heavy, music's probably light.
Yep, I'd say so, yep. The pace that is opening up, 3.6 already.
Yeah, that is huge. Yeah.
He's just trying to build that 9-second gap, which I think is the key gap to get if you're running light.
Yep. And any thoughts on how different the two strategies are?
I think it's really line ball here. I do see tyre deg. There seems to be a significant amount of drop off in the later laps to maybe justify a change of tyres. Okay. There seems to be about a good second, even a second and a half drop off in pace.
Okay.
After about the 35-minute mark, it starts going down. So, but being so difficult to pass, track position.
Mike and Andy, dude, on screen right now, and this is looking really good.
And he has the V8 one as well, by the sounds of the car.
Okay. And of course V12, or V10 in the back of the Lambo.
Yeah, well it's the Audi engine in that one, so effectively it's an Audi with slightly different handling.
Apparently only the chassis and the engine are the same.
Yep. But there's a significant difference in the car though, like handling wise.
Oh, Mike's gone off. So he's on the beach, and that's tempting. It's a beautiful day here in Holland. So he's dropped back, and that's Vert, who's now going to be looking for him. So Andy has done a really good job seeing him off. P5, and he can still see Shaky and Incy up ahead. So Andy's looking good for a solid race tonight.
Looks like Sparky is now onto the back of TB. Oh, and they've already gone past already.
Yeah, he's through already. So Sparky's going to be. Oh, geez, he really did use a huge amount of that curb. Wow.
Yeah, try doing that. Try doing that in the Ferrari.
So Sparky's his adrenaline's going to be flowing, and he's over driving because of that drive through.
He's trying to make up for lost ground.
Okay, so Freshie's got a very healthy lead over the other boys that have already made their first stop. So despite his problems at the start, this is going to be Freshie's chance to really find a solid rhythm and just knock over the laps one by one.
It looks like it's got a bit of damage on the front of the car there too.
He does, doesn't it?
Well, he's 14 seconds behind Max, and it's around about a minute, close to a minute delta for pits.
If you take tyres.
If you take tyres, yes.
Yep.
So minus 20. So if you don't, well, minus 20.
Could be minus 26.8.
Could well be.
So, yeah, the difference between 1 litre and taking a set of tyres, and I imagine that Freshie would have obviously just taken a litre or two of gas. Yeah, exactly, because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, especially on one of your stops. I think one of your stops is always going to be
splash and dash.
Splash and dash, yeah.
So Sparky on Bear. Now Bear just needs to keep his furry little head together here and not be intimidated by this.
Oh, I couldn't get much closer. I think he's even given it a bit of a bump draft down the straight there.
Yep. You're live, boys. Keep it clean. Send it.
Oh, no.
Giving him room. Round the outside. Come on, Bear. Stick it into him.
Yep.
Keep it So
get aggressive, Bear.
Sparky's through.
Bear.
And he's off.
He's gone. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
So Bear in the Honda has played that perfectly, and look at that, straight back ahead of him.
Yep. Turtle in the hair. Turtle in the hair.
That's it.
Or in this case, turtle in the bear.
Fantastic. Sector 2. Fantastic long right-hander.
Oh, I thought he was going to stick it down there then. I mean, that's not the place to do it. Down here's a good place for a putt. Oh, Bear's got off. I don't think there was a touch.
No, it didn't look like it.
No, I don't think there was. I think
very close, but I'm not sure if there's ever been any visual lag in the spec mode.
Not 100% sure, no.
Alright, so thanks boys, that was good. Let's go back to Shaky, who is close to Incy. Less than a second in it. Just over a second in it now. And Music has stabilised that lead to 3.1 seconds, and then these two boys have dropped 8 and 9 seconds back of Inter. So maybe it's these two boys that are actually fat on fuel.
Maybe, unless Music's just gone, I'm going to try to control it, not try to make a mistake, and just try to hold the delta, and backed off that 10th or 2, not pushed it.
So Shaky he's looking like he's got a little bit of better rhythm going than Incy right now. And I can't understand how he's not distracted from his own paint job.
It's a bit of a return of the Mac on this track, isn't it? Merc.
But he looks good. Looks solid. But Incy will be making the most of this. Make no doubt about it, folks.
The little bear's gone into repair. I think he must have hurt himself in that little incident. Same as TB. He's gone in to fix that feather up.
Okay. So, of course, we're not expecting any rain tonight, folks. So, Bear's now green to go to the finish. So, he's not out of it, not by a long shot. .2 at the front, but this is the closest battle on track right now. So, Shaky seems to lose a bit through Sector 1, the beginning of Sector 2. And then these never-ending right-handers of Sector 2. Here's another one. And then we finally get into Turn 11, which is this fantastic left-hander.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites, this corner.
And do you find that there are You said 5 different lines earlier, Paulie. Can you take
there's
all
so many.
5 with the setup you've got, or is the line dictated by the setup?
No. You can generally take it with the same setup. Just depends. You know, you can hug that whole circle or semicircle thing close to the ripple inner side. Yeah. Or you can shoot out really wide and come back in and get a faster speed down the and all the times seem to be relative. There's no necessarily quicker way through that corner. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's one of the curves that doesn't have a positive camber to it.
Yeah, it's true. So even this first corner does too.
Because it makes a real difference with the setup, doesn't it? Like you start considering a corner where the setup's losing out, and then you've got to ask these questions of, does it have positive camber, therefore do I need more camber on the front or rears?
I think a lot of people, when they're doing the setup for this track, probably focus more onto the last corner coming onto the straight being the key thing to set up for.
Okay.
If you can get that planted around there, that whole last little quadrant of sector is probably the most key in the track, I think.
Yeah, the last sector is very important. That frustrating right spoon left-hander, as you've been calling it.
Yep.
And then, of course, the slightly tighter penultimate corner, and then the last corner, which on a good line is flat, shaky, super close.
If you've got a bit of overlap, you can pull it off down there and make a move. Yeah, it's very hard to pass here, but there is a few places, if you're brave, you can just tuck your nose down and get it done.
Yeah, definitely not impossible. Difficult.
No. It takes 2 to tango though, so if the other person's not a willing participant, you know, it's going to be very difficult.
That's right. So you heard it from Paulie, folks. If you're not prepared to dance, don't come to the tango.
That's it. And no means no, children. That's it. Looks like he's got a good run on him down here. See, actually, for one of the passing moves, you're setting up from here. You're trying to get a good run out of here. You're trying to get a little bit more speed through this whole sector just to pass later on. But it looks like he's got too much of a gap there. Oh, he's got some traffic in the way though.
So that's got to be Bear. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's the EXO in the GTR.
Yep.
So he's splitting them at the moment. He's done an awesome job. Yep. Nice one, EXO. So, if you're a stranger to the channel, welcome. RaceOnOz, Australia's premier esport provider of entertainment and all things furry and laughable. So Inter's stabilising at 3.1 back, so that's promising. Incy's still losing a bit of time. Yep. Shaky's probably feeling like he's being held up a little bit now.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's getting a little bit of probably rough air there too. So.
And that's TB ahead of them in that two-tone green BHR Ferrari.
Doesn't look as broken now, so he's got it all fixed up.
And his teammates Andy and Vert, P5 and P7, so pressure's off TB. He can just go and get stuck in. 2.8 to the front, so let's go and have a look at Inter. Panning camera shot of grass and dunes. And Inter's definitely got the pace, but he's got to start really hooking up some consistency.
Music would start. You're starting to panic now. You've seen that time drop, and starting to look at it. So if he's got the extra pace, you might want to kick it in now and just say, "Yep, no, you don't." Open it back up to 3.1, 3.2.
Yeah.
That Ferrari's looking quite nice though.
It does now. It certainly looked sketchy as in those first couple of laps, and he was having a few problems. But he looks
doesn't
like
he's cold tyres much, that Ferrari, to be honest. It's I have a bit of troubles on cold tyres in it.
Yeah. Pushing to the limit, absolutely. But I imagine that's the same for all of them.
Yeah, it's true. 2.6, taking another couple of attempts out.
Yeah. So Inter's looking good.
Incy and Shakey's opened it up a little bit more now, so it's a second gap between them.
Okay.
Actually, it looks like he's gained it right back up here though again. So something must happen in the first corner and the times haven't updated because he's right back on his clacker. I love that corner too. They
just never end, do they? Like, it's as you say, it's just got such a good flowing rhythm to it that
and there's no rest. There's no rest. I suppose you can have a little rest down the straight. It's long enough to have a little bit of a... get a couple of breaths in. loosen the fingers up a bit. And...
That's it. So these guys are on for an absolute ding-dong, but they are now 17 seconds back. 2.1 at the front. Oh, and Incy was wide.
Doesn't want to do it here. Not much you can do there.
1.8 at the front. So we're still on board with Incy and Shaky because this is exciting. But it looks like Incy is stabilised. Yep. So Shaky's just dropped back. Let's go to the front and check out Inter. And he's into the hairpin. Sector 1. Nice lines through there.
Yep.
And 23 minutes into the race.
There you go. He's opened it back up to 2.3. That's exactly what he needed to do. He needed to go, yep, I see you coming. Put the pedal back down, get focus again, and pull the gap back out.
Yep. So, Music Racer in the 556 is looking good. 2.3 at that split. And of course, we do not know how much fuel these boys have got on. We do not know if they will stop for tyres or not. You have to certainly have a good grip on your setup and your driving consistency if you're not going to change tyres. So what do you reckon, Paulie? Would you expect most boys to change tonight?
Depends on what speed they're running at. I'm going to say no. I say most of them are not going to change.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. No. Here we go. Oh, if I was about to say Inter is about to come in, but
5 seconds back. No, it was definitely more than 3.5. Definitely more than 3.5. I think Inter's had an issue through the last couple of corners.
Yep.
We'll wait for the next split, which is in a couple of corners' time. Incy and Shaky are still very close. But they are now losing a huge amount of time to these front two.
And we've got Andy in.
Okay.
So 3.8, so it's 3.8, even though it looks bigger than that, doesn't it?
It did. Alright, so now that Music's... Wow, he's really got some pace through there. And he's not even using all the track. So that's not a bad way to do it, is it? Just find your rhythm and slowly start letting the car just drift out towards your very wide entries into all these corners, especially Sector 2.
Yep. He's hitting those curves nicely.
Oh, Mike and Vert. Very close. Through the last couple of corners. And we know how good the Aston is through there.
Well, that is nice and tight. Not close enough to make a move down the back here. Andy's lost a ton of positions. I actually think Andy might have changed tyres then, actually. So,
Okay.
Oh, he looks like Vert was making a move around the outside. Brave.
Sure was. So...
And we got Inters in. Inters in.
Okay, so wonder if he has in fact hit a wall. Must have been Sector 3 because I was on board with him and then I just cut to music. And then he dropped back. And Andy is through on Vert in Sector 2. Sector 2 is where all the action is going on tonight.
Inter's back out, and it was roughly about a 10-second pit stop, so...
Alright,
he hasn't changed any tyres there.
keep an eye on him, Paulie, because it should be close between him and Freshie.
Yeah, we'll see where Freshie's moved up a little bit there. Well, Freshie's gone past.
Right. Okay.
I think so. I think he's... Yeah, he has. He's in front of him.
Okay. So, really, music is racing Freshie now.
Yeah, because they had a 4-second gap, and I'd say the difference between Freshie and Inter is probably 4 seconds. Well, there you go, 3.4. So, yep, music is definitely racing Freshie. So you can't let up still.
No. So Inter might have got a little flustered and started hitting buttons willy-nilly because he's got his wipers on. But his lines look good, so as long as he's been able to take a breath in the pit stop, we know how good that Ferrari is. But he's definitely going to be losing a little bit of time with that wiper on.
yeah, that's definitely not the most aerodynamic way to do it.
Maybe he's doing Morse code with his pits.
Alright, we got Shaky in as well. Which has looked a little shaky a few times tonight.
It's just one of the common handling characteristics of the Merc, isn't it? So Freshie's going to end up in a very clear P2. And then we'll actually be able to get some nice timing splits between music and Freshie. And there it is. From Klaus, our German race engineer, we are halfway through the race.
Shaky was in there for a good 34 seconds, so probably a little bit of repairs and maybe even change tyres.
Okay, and that's on halfway, so that probably would be right.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so music comes around. Another lap, so he's now starting to close in on some boys for traffic, so he might start thinking about his stop.
I wonder if he's realised that he's actually racing Freshie now, though.
Okay, so... Sorry, dude, after you.
No, I was about to say, because now there's a 5.2 gap, so Freshie's opened it up on Inter as well.
Yeah.
So...
Well, they've actually both just gone through the hairpins. Music in Sector 1 and Freshie in Sector 3. So, certainly for a moment in time, they were actually pretty close to each other on track, just not the same part. So that's quite a gap, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work it out now. Because it's gone past the sector, so it's not giving us our sector times.
Okay, so Shaky has got ahead of Incy. And Sparky's up the road from them.
I'm just doing timing gap at the moment between Freshie and music.
Let's have a look at Freshie. Oh, that's that camera panning through the sand dunes that makes everyone slightly nauseous.
Okay, I started my stopwatch just after the next set of corners. There's a shadow on the line, and we're at 30 seconds already. You'll see just here, you should see a line on the ground. There we go. 42-second gap. And music's in. Music's in. 40-second gap. I think he's going to jump him here. I don't think 40 seconds is enough.
No, there'd need to be a splash and dash. But if he's... you just never know. I mean, halfway through, music could be taking tyres. But... Maybe, but... Freshy's definitely going to take the lead because he's out of the last corner. Across the start-finish line.
Music still hasn't dropped, so... He may well be taking tyres here.
So, Freshy has got a bit of damage on the front of the McLaren. What's Music's car looking like?
It's looking clean as, and that was a 30-second stop, so he changed tyres.
Okay, so he's coming into turn 1, and Freshy's in the hairpin of sector 1. Okay.
So now it'll be interesting to see if Music can run him down. Depending on second stops, I'd say both second stops for both of them are going to be shortish.
Yep.
I didn't catch Freshy's first pit stop, so...
It was very short.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was how...
Ooh, it looks like Inter's actually jumped Music as well.
So Music back, yeah, that makes sense because Freshy and Inter would have had. Oh no, you said Inter took tyres.
Yeah, yep. So somewhere along the lines.
That doesn't make sense though, does it?
Music may have made a mistake somewhere because that's a big gap.
It is.
He's at full length of this back straight here, behind Inter.
Wow. That pit stop from Music might have actually been a botched stop.
Maybe.
So, Inter still got the wipers going.
It's working for him.
And Freshy's in.
Oh.
So...
Oh, that's unexpected.
I got Freshy on screen. Always exciting to see them come through a chicane in the pit lane doing 20 k's an hour. And let's just have a look at see what his stationary time is.
It's up to 15. Alright, we're at 25 seconds.
I wonder if he's doing this because he knows that the other two boys took tyres. This could be a really smart move from Freshy. And he's on his... So he
30.
Yeah, so he definitely took tyres. And he'll be pushing like hell.
Ooh.
Oh, that was close with Music. Sorry, Mike.
Did Mike jump him then? Has Freshy gone that far back?
Yeah, he would have. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to interrupt him if these guys in front of him don't come in the next lap or so.
Yeah.
He's going to be left out the pasture, I think.
So Freshy down to 7th, but he's green to go, so it's definitely not over yet.
Oh, we got Incy right behind Shaky.
Again.
They've swapped. It was the other way around before.
So these guys are having a ding-dong battle. This is fantastic.
And Music is 8.7 behind Interroll. So
right.
He was 11, so he's already closed that gap down a bit, quite a bit.
.47. Freshy on Mike. So let's have a look at this. Oh, there's lots of traffic. Yeah, there sure is.
Oh, it looks. Oh, that's worked out well for Freshy. Mike's coming to pits.
So Freshy's just going to need to clear Bear, who will obviously let him go because Bear knows how to tango.
Alright, so next on Freshy's market is the Incy and Shaky battle, so watch that little gap closely.
Right, so Freshy is now free to go and do his thing. Let's have a look with music.
It's now 7.8, so he's knocked another second off the time.
So you're right, the car looks very clean, so whatever problems he's had, he hasn't been tangoing with the wall.
No.
And he can see Inter coming into turn 1. So let's go and have a look at Inter. Wipers blaring.
It works for everything.
Even when we're not talking about music. So Inty still super close to Shaky, but we're going to have a little bit of a look at the boys at the front just to see how clean their laps are at the moment. So I still think that Inter, Music and Freshy are the boys that are really on for the win tonight. It is just so easy to make a mistake around here, so they'll be hoping to go very, very clean for these last 22 and a bit minutes.
Yep, and it all depends on what their second stop is. Could be running a splash and dash, or could be doing a quarter fill. Just all depends, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was anything other than a splash and dash for the first two.
I'd say so, definitely. But I was wrong about the tyres. It looked like everybody's come in and changed tyres.
Right.
I honestly do think it's the slightly faster call to do.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. It just comes down to how you drive it on the day. I mean, if you're pushing a little too hard, obviously they're going to wear a bit more, and if you can just find a really nice rhythm.
And track position is always key. You know, look at Incy and Shaky. Incy can't find a way past at the moment.
Yeah, that is close. Let's go and have another look at these boys. 38 and a half minutes gone, and they're getting intimate.
It is. We may need a bucket of water to spray on those two.
Incy's got some really good pace right now, so can he get a bit of a slipstream? He's pulled out. He's going to send it. He is.
That Lexus is no slouch.
Oh. Well, that was just about the worst camera angle ever to see that action. So hopefully these boys... and that was Freshy coming through.
And Freshy just says, "Thank you very much, lads. I'll take that spot nice and easy."
Yeah, he might have lost a bit of time though. I don't know where Shaky was on the track, but Incy definitely was parked on the grass to let him go. Saw him coming a mile away.
I wouldn't mind losing a couple of seconds to gain 2 spots on this track.
Yeah, especially against boys that you're not actually racing against.
Oh, hang on, we've got to drive through for Sparky.
Right, so Sparky's 2 from 2 on his pit lane entries. And we got Incy. And he's definitely got the P&L boys, the GTR and Bear in the Honda. So they are not on the same lap. Oh!
No!
So... yeah. And then the P&L boys were super close there.
And they are fighting for position a little bit.
One of them went off because you could hear it in the sand trap in the background.
Yeah, that was Exo that went off.
So that just shows you, isn't it? If you've got a pace difference, sometimes the closing speeds in some of these different parts of the track is just enormous.
Yeah. Alright, well, here we go. Music's now 5.6 behind, so he's knocked off another couple of seconds. And Freshy's into third. Clear.
Yeah.
4.5 gap over. Shaky, he's gone off on that corner again. Freshy, keep it together, mate.
In the hairpin, sector 1.
Yeah, sector 1 hairpin. Yeah, he almost clouded the wall, went on the grass a little bit. And...
He's just pushing a little too hard through that right-hander before the hairpin.
Yeah, that was my message I sent to him before the race. Watch that turn 3. Just take the quarter of a second off there, and you're going to be sweet.
Yep.
It's an important corner, but it's not worth losing your race over because it's easy to do.
So, Music is the man with pace right at this second. 4.7 to Inter, and we know that Freshy's had a couple of hairy moments. So, 18 minutes left. And we know how quick this guy is.
And it looks like he's cruising too. He's just got that thing settled, hasn't it? He's in the same screenshot now.
And it really does make a huge difference. As soon as you can see your prey...
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Certainly got really nice turn in through that right-hander.
Your setup's got some nice turning too, actually.
Oh, you like my setup?
It's a little loose. It's a little loose for me, but it's got some nice turning.
So, are you talking about brands or around here?
Around here.
Yeah. Okay. We've got some
you
industrial espionage going on.
you shouldn't post videos before the race week.
That's
here we go. Inter's come in.
So Music takes the lead.
We've got Spygate, mate. Spygate 2.0.
They got fined a lot of money for that, mate.
I know, they really did.
So, Music's in sector 1. Inter is weaving in the pits.
In pit lane.
Oh, he's missed his marks.
Oh, he might have stuffed it here.
Is he getting tyres? Surely not.
Surely not. Not with 16 to go.
Freshy's coming through this penultimate corner. And
he's going to get him.
I think Inter's going to be ahead. Inter's going to be ahead.
Yeah,
he's already out.
He's out, yeah.
So, so Inter in turn 1 and Music is coming up. He's in sector 2 into the left-hander. So
as I say, he needs about, even if he's doing a splash and dash, you need probably what, 30 seconds at least?
Yeah, minimum. Yep.
And it wasn't the greatest pit stop by Interrule, so
yeah, and Music
wouldn't know that.
No, of course not. But he's in a nice rhythm. Is he going to come in straight away? No, I wouldn't either. If you're in a rhythm, stay out as long as you can.
Yeah, that's what I did at Brands, and then the rain started, so sort of threw it in the bin.
No rain tonight here in Holland. Conditions are perfect. Track temperature has dropped a couple of clicks, so that'll make a difference to the pressures. If these boys maybe have their ducts open a little bit too much, they might be losing a little bit of pressure, but they've certainly had plenty of time to do their prac and dial in the numbers.
I've got the stopwatch going between the two because it's not giving us a time.
So Exo's worked his way up onto the back of Bear. So the P&L boys, they're not racing anyone else except each other tonight. This is fantastic. So Andy into the pits from P4 for his final stop.
We've got a 43-second gap between Music and Interroll.
Okay. Surely it's looking good for Music then.
It really is.
Exo's trying to go around the outside of Bear and he's gone too deep. That familiar sound of gravel on metal. Oh, nice save. Keep going, XO. But Bear will be enjoying this.
I can just imagine the chat now, to be honest.
Music pulls up into his pit
in.
box, and that looked pretty slick. And he's down and away. Music's going to have a huge lead.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to have a huge lead.
Yep, good.
The whole straight.
Yep, Inter's just coming onto the straight.
Even
now,
a little bit more, wow. And
nice. Now he can relax.
And Freshy's coming through the last corner. Wow. So it wasn't nearly as close as what we thought it was going to be.
No, that Inter's pit stop troubles really changed that for him. He lost a lot of time there.
Yeah, he did.
Just watch that gap now over Fresh. You see Freshy's running him down. Yeah, it's 14.1. It's finally come up for us. Yeah, Music now just has to settle and match his delta, like the guy behind. You just look at their lap times and just match theirs.
Oh, I think he would have just breathed a huge sigh of relief, and he'll be cruising it. 12 minutes to go.
Yep.
Closest battle on track is Shaky and Andy, P6 and P7. We've got Andy.
He's been quietly achieving, hasn't he? He's been going up there. It's been no major battles, but now he's slowly moving up the field too, so he's been doing well.
Sure is. And of course we've got no idea what these boys have done for tyres.
And I'd say that Andy and Shaky are going to jump max in the pits without a doubt as well.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about Incy though.
Incy definitely after the problems with Shaky, I think it was. Into turn one. Yeah, those boys will lose that massively.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that now. I think so too. Incy might be close to saving it, keeping it. But 24, 2, 1. Nah, he's going to lose it. Oh, he's coming hot though. Oh, he's hit the wall coming in the pits, Incy.
Minutes to go, so this has just got to be a splash and dash, surely.
Yeah, he's going to lose all those 4 positions, I think. He's going to come out behind Andy.
And he's underway.
Yeah, Andy's already gone through. Oh, connection failed. I've dropped out.
So, yep, I'm still going. I believe the feed's still going.
Yep, looks like it. Looks like from me.
So, Freshy coming into the penultimate corner once more, and running a bit wide. So he's pushing hard to try and catch Inter, and he's got Vert in the green McLaren right ahead of him, so we'll be hoping to clear him as soon as possible. And Music's 13.7 ahead of Inter, so 9.5 minutes to go. Closest battle on track, Andy, Shaky and Max. Max has still got a pit though. So these boys are nice and close on track. And Shaky will be hoping that Max comes in for his pit stop right now, because this is not what Shaky needs, considering how close. Oh, contact. Oh, and Shaky's gone around. And it looks like Andy's picked the gap beautifully on that one. So this is working out for Andy. Shaky just pushing a little too hard, unfortunately. He just needed to be patient for one more corner. And Max would have been in the pits. So Andy up to P4. Incy P5 after all of his dramas. And Shaky is coming into the pits as well. So he's got some bonnet damage. So it really hasn't worked out for the Merc boys. Oh, and Sparky's off track through turn 1. And recovers it up nicely and continues. So that car looks nice and clean. No, so Max isn't close to Incy. Incy will be well gone. Max is Shaky in the pits. Mike's gone through. Vert's now gone through, so Shaky's going to basically drop out of the top 10. Or he'll just be in the top 10. So, let's go and have a look at music. Sector 2. And he's coming up behind Mike in the other Aston. But it's all fallen into place for Mike tonight.
I'm struggling to get back in, but I'm watching it on your feed.
Okay.
Slightly delayed.
All good.
So it's the best I can do for right now.
There's no one's really close at all anymore. The closest gap is Inter and Freshie, and that's 4.5 seconds. Oh, music. Mike's had a huge moment coming out of the last corner, and music was very lucky not to get involved. That would have been a very Code Brown moment for music. And we've got the medics reporting to the exit of last corner.
And even though I'm slightly delayed, I just saw the incident with Mike. That was really sketchy for music, wasn't it? He would have definitely had a Code Brown there, but 4.5 to Freshie. He's gained another half second there.
And Paulie, what's it like this late in the race when you've got a lead, but you're almost home, but you've got another, 3, 4, maybe 5 laps? How easy is it?
Sometimes it's actually harder sometimes, because your mind relaxes, and that's when you start making mistakes.
Right.
Because you're not trying to push anymore. You're not taking it to the edge what you've been doing for the last hour. So if you relax too much, it's not good. So you've got to keep it going. Keep it in there a little bit. Keep the mind focused.
Yeah.
That's why I like to match other people's deltas, because then your eyes are busy, your brain's thinking, and you're focusing on trying to match their times rather than just wondering what you're going to do tomorrow in the garden or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
But I'd definitely rather be in a 13-second lead with 5 minutes to go than a 2-second lead with 5 minutes to go.
Yep. Yeah, so he's done a really good job tonight, music. Put in a very, very solid performance. And he's definitely executed the strategy the best of the top 3, who were only separated by, what was it, less than 1/10 of a second in quali.
Yeah, wasn't much at all.
So EXO doing some sand excursions, just getting out of the way of music. And it looks like Bear's definitely got the upper hand in that battle at the moment between the PNL boys. And so, how's it working out for the manufacturers? Aston, Ferrari, McLaren, Lambo, Lexus, Mercedes. So the top 6 are all different. So Sparky will be absolutely kicking himself because he had really good pace tonight, but a couple of drive-throughs and then probably just pushing a little too hard at times in order to make up the difference.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Pace isn't absolutely everything. It's staying on the black stuff is the most important thing, not making silly mistakes.
Yeah. Just like the bridge says, it's the state of art racing.
Oh, hang on. We got Freshie only 2.7 behind Inters now. He's actually closer than that. He's actually on his bumper bar now.
He is too.
Come on, Freshie. Oh, it's my teammate. I can't say that. Go Inters. Go into real.
So these boys are putting on a show right to the flag. So Music's got a 16.5 second lead. So Music is absolutely looking sweet, but it's still on for P2. And how much of a difference does this make, Paulie? Given that it's round 4 of 5.
Well, you're coming into the key, setting it up now, aren't you? You've got to do well this round to give yourself any chance of going any higher in the table. I don't know what the championship table is for these guys, and where each person is sitting. That's probably something we should have had handy. Inter's made a mistake. Freshie's gone around the outside. Stick it. Ooh, don't go off yourself.
So Inter's got a problem. He's definitely lost speed.
Yep.
So Freshie up to P2 and
17 seconds to Music. So
no chance.
No chance for him to gain that. So now it's really just about staying on that black stuff.
That's right. So speaking of no chance, P6 and P10.
Nice segue. He's just gone wide again. Oh.
So
he's still giving it the beams.
He's pushing very hard. He's not done yet. He's going to try and extricate a bit of quality pace right at the end of this one. And so 1 minute 8 left on the clock. Music. Okay, so there'll be one more lap after this.
Unless he slows down. Oh. He won't do that.
I'll be impressed if he can manage that and pull it off, you know, keeping it on the top step.
Well, it's actually pretty tight. Even if he backs it down straight down to 17 seconds, I think that would be the last lap. It's only 30 seconds to go and he's got the whole last
sector. And Inter's off again, so...
he's just pushing too hard.
That's it. There's no quality pace in the Ferrari at this stage of the race. So Andy is a little too far back, actually, a long way too back. So let's go on board with Music. And the rate, this is it. Last lap.
Yeah, so last lap.
So he did back off. And he's done it.
I would have.
Oh, totally. So congrats to Music. That's a great win for him tonight in the Aston. Really he's been threatening that for 3 rounds now. Freshie coming over the line for P2.
Yeah, well done, buddy.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed, but it's a good drive. And then we'll go back to Inter. P3.
Yeah, a good result.
Well, they've changed the order from quali, but they are still the top 3 in Am1 tonight here in Zandvoort. RaceOnOz. So Andy's going to bring it home in P4 for BHR. And Incy is in P5. So Good race for Ince.
Yep, that was a solid round, actually. That was a solid fight. A couple of in the middle at the back with Little Bear and Exo, and then you had the Morning Star and Sparky and Shaky and Incy. So it was a good fight right up and down the field.
Let's go and see if Music's celebrating, and he is.
Yeah.
He's got some nice donuts going on.
If you go to Inter's view, you can see both views of both of them doing donuts.
Yep. Nice.
No, almost still. He's in.
So he's enjoying that, and he's going to quit it back to the pits any second now.
Yeah,
so
he will be loving that victory. He wasn't very confident coming into this in the Aston, so
right.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, huge congratulations. That was good stuff.
And like I said, Freshie absolutely hates this track, so he'll be absolutely wrapped with second place.
That is a good result. All right, well, good stuff again, Paulie. Thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure, mate.
And yeah, hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the finale for these boys at Spa.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be 2 weeks from now, wouldn't it? So Spa, it's going to be another interesting one too. I love that track.
Sure will. And it's going to be a proper enduro for 90 minutes. So same.
It's an iconic track in that, really. It's just a good way to finish the league off.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Music's taken out the win here in Am1 tonight. So thanks for joining us, and thanks to Paulie for bringing the special comments and the stopwatch. We'll
didn't come out much tonight.
We probably could have had some bit more accurate info if we had. We'll do better, folks. So thank you all, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Good night.
Ciao.